All right, welcome. Hi there. Thank you for tuning in or for turning on your device and pressing play. Not really pressing play, unless you're watching the recording. But thank you for showing up live or for watching the recording. Today's class, we're going to talk about shoulders and the upper body again, and how you engage your muscles and place your hands correctly to have stability and have strength to lift up. So let's come to your mat first and just start seated. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for coming again and joining me. Reach up your arms and stretch overhead. Bring your palms together and press your palms to the ceiling. Lift the shoulders and then relax the shoulders away from the ears or draw the shoulders down. Bring the hands forward. If you're feeling any tightness as you reach, relax the shoulders again and soften the jaw. Inhale and reach up. And then bring your right hand behind your head, between your shoulder blades. Press your head into the form, sitting up. And if you find that you're straining or you're feeling uncomfortable where you're sitting, if you sit up on a blanket or something a little bit higher, that's helpful. Inhale and reach up. And now let's just lean over to the right. Up and over. Feel the side body stretch, and I'm slightly tugging on my wrist, nothing too strong right there, just slight tug. Inhale and bring the arms down, relax. Pick the shoulders up, elevate, bring them back, retract, and lower, depress the shoulders. Pull the shoulders forward, spreading the blades apart. Protraction, lift up, elevate, and around, retract, and then lower. Do that again. Make that a smooth lift and pull back and down and forward. Lift, up and back, and hold. Now reach palms together. Press your palms towards the ceiling. Draw the shoulders down the back, and then reach the hands forward. Opening up the shoulder blades, spreading the blades apart, which is an important point that we'll come to later. So the upper back is kind of slightly domed or rounded right there. Now reach up again, and we're going to bring the left hand behind the head. Press the head into the arm just slightly, so you're lifting your chin, or at least keeping the chin neutral. And then reach up, slight reach over, slight tug against the wrist. And you can turn your head or your chin towards your shoulder, the underneath your arm. Good. Inhale and reach up. Reach, reach, reach. Stretch the arms overhead. Now reach more on the right side. And then reach more on the left side. So your fingers pointing straight up, reaching. Relax the jaw. And release. Hands down to the floor. Let's come on to your hands and your knees for cat-cow. So hands, spreading your fingers, space between the fingers, press into your index fingers, specifically in the thumbs. Knees underneath your hips, press the top of your feet down on the floor. So lower your belly down towards the mat, cow pose. And emphasize cow pose. Round up, press into the floor. Specifically the index fingers. So that's your first tip. I have 3 tips in class today. So first tip is pressing into the index finger and the thumb. Call that the triad of the hands. So this space right here from your finger to your thumb, really pressing down into that inside part. When you come into a plank pose and a full plank and lower down, that's where your hands lift. And so intentionally pressing down right there helps give you strength in that pose. Do that one more time, just lowering and lifting at your own pace, emphasizing cat. So pulling the abs in and spreading the blades apart. Good. All right, so now just kind of sway your body side to side, loosening up, and then opposite direction. Opening the side body to the right and then to the left. Now tuck your toes and lift up into downward facing dog. So downward facing dog, reach your heels towards the end of the mat and start to pedal your heels right and left. We'll get moving here. And get your body warmed up. A little core work. And we'll focus in on the pose, dolphin pose, which is a shoulder strengthener and also a good stretch for the upper back. Walk your feet to your hands. Many, many steps forward, all the way to your hands. And once you're there, reach for your elbows. Sway the arms to one side and then the other. Keep your knees slightly bent right here so that you can, maybe your ribs, top of the ribs touches the thighs. Now release that. Lengthen the head forward. Flat back, press into your feet and lift up all the way. Reach your arms overhead. And then let's sway over or lean over to the side. Lateral stretch. Press into your feet, so feel the ground. And then reach over the opposite direction. Inhale and reach up. Sweep the arms down to your sides, and as you do that, fold over as if you were diving. So bending, hinging at the hips. Head comes all the way down. Bring the hands to the shins, lengthen and lift the head up halfway. So from the tailbone to the head, a straight line. Pull your abs in right there. Then exhale, plant your hands and step back to plank and set your knees down. Elbows draw in, tip number 2. So you don't want to have your elbows pointing out. Elbows draw in, pressing into your hands. And when you come down, so we're going to practice this several times. Toes tucked under or top of the feet on the floor. So either way. Lower down, pointing your elbows to the rear. Now lift up. So what tends to happen whenever you lower down is the shoulders come forward near your ears. So you got to resist that and pull your shoulders back. Elbows draw in, index fingers pointing forward. Remember tip number 1, press into the index fingers and the thumbs. Point your elbows back, lower down, lift back up. So we're basically doing a knee push-up, but because we're in yoga, chaturanga on your knees, okay? So lower down, elbows point to the rear, move your shoulders back, and then press up. All right? Let's do that one more time. And this time we're going to come all the way down to the mat. And release. Look down, put your forehead down for a moment. Now put the top of your feet on the floor. Reach your arms, your hands to your sides, and lift up into locust pose, Salambhasana. Such an awesome strengthening pose for the back, posterior chain of the body, the glutes, the hamstrings. Reach the hands. Remember the shoulders, move them down and pull them together. Hands lift up, lift up, lift up. And then exhale. Put your hands on the floor and lift up. Bring your knees underneath you. Put your forearms on the floor. Puppy dog pose. So downward facing dog on your knees. So shift your chest towards the thighs, your forehead towards the floor. If your forehead doesn't come to the floor, that's okay. Press the feet into the floor. So it's basically just a kind of a modified child's pose. Your hips are up a little bit higher than in child's pose because the legs aren't necessarily underneath you. So chest moving towards the mat. Now shift and look at your hands. So make this right angle or 90-degree angle at your thumb and your index finger. Imagine you have a block there. And your thumbs, if you have a block, put a block there. That's about the space. And then draw your elbows in, like we talked about before. Tip number 2. Press into the index fingers and the thumbs. Tuck your toes. Lift your knees up. And then look between the elbows and then look back behind you. Let the head hang. Press into the floor and pull your front ribs in. So the one cue to think about is not letting the front ribs flare open. You want to pull them in just slightly. Pressing into the forearms. So you're engaging the lats by pulling your elbows in. And the strength in the shoulders, the rhomboids, the serratus muscles. Good. Now set your knees down. Come up onto your hands. And lift up into downward facing dog. Look forward and bend your knees. Walk your feet to your hands. Lengthen your head forward. Then exhale and fold. Now stand tall. Inhale all the way up. Again, let's lean. Creating our series, our sequence. Muscle memory. Repetition. Good. Leaning over the opposite side. Press into your feet. Feel the ground. Feel your foundation. Inhale and reach up. Exhale, sweep the arms to your side and fold. Lengthen the head forward, half lift. Now step back again. Stay in full plank right here. Breathe. Press the floor away. Tip 1, press into the index finger, thumbs. Elbows draw in. Tip number 3, round the upper back. So it's almost like you're doming there, right? So you can have your shoulder blades together, right? Serratus push-up, and then spread them apart. So that's where you want to be when you're in plank, whether you're on your knees or not. So then shift forward, lower down to chaturanga, and then to the mat. Locust pose, salambasana. Reach the legs, the arms, slight gaze forward. Reaching your hands. Great pose for strengthening your body, the back side of the body. Exhale, hands on the floor, tuck your toes, lift up. Puppy dog pose, put your elbows down. Forehead to the mat or towards the mat. Shift on your forearms, 90-degree angle from the index finger to the thumb. Lift up the knees in plank, form plank. So right here, walk your feet, your toes in, keep pressing into your forearms. If you need to look up here and see the shape, take a look. So you're pressing into the forearms and your forehead is off the mat. Separate your feet just slightly, press into the floor with those forearms and then kind of gently pull your front ribs in. Don't let them flare. It's almost like you're moving your chest towards your thighs, but then keeping your ribs pulled in. And then elbows
draw in towards each other. So what happens is your hands will tend to try to want to come towards each other, and if they do, then you lose the integrity of being on your forearms. Good. Now set your knees down, walk up onto your hands, and lift up into downward facing dog. And now let's flow a bit, keeping all of those points in mind. Walk your feet to your hands. Lengthen the head forward. Tip 1, index fingers and thumbs. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Tip 2, elbows or upper back engaged. Exhale, your hands to your heart. Roll your shoulders back. Standing, pressing your feet into the ground as if you're going to split your feet apart or split the mat apart. Inhale and reach up. Soften the knees. Exhale and fold. Surya Namaskar. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back, high plank. Press into your fingers. Elbows draw in. Dome the upper back. Shift forward, lower down. Chin and chest first. Inhale, this time cobra pose. So press into the hands, elbows draw in, right? And then tuck your toes, exhale, downward facing dog. So there's a mantra of tips or a mantra of cues to use or to do in each pose. And most of the time it's the same exact cues, just applied a little differently for particular poses. Look forward, bend your knees, and step your feet to your hands, whether it's a few steps or one step. Lengthen your head forward, exhale, fold, inhale and rise. Surya Namaskar B. So sun salutation B. Exhale your hands to your heart. That starts with chair pose. So bring your toes together. Reach your arms forward. You can let your knees come forward. Lift your heart, but keep the weight in your heels, okay? So that's your key point. Same thing when you're doing a squat, when we're strength training. Weight in your heels. Even if your knees come forward, that's okay. Just pull your shoulders back, and the integrity is by contracting your abs and pressing into your feet. Exhale, fold. Half lift, look forward, plant your hands, step back, plank. Knees down if you need to. Elbows draw in, press into the index fingers, lower down. Cobra pose or upward facing dog. Press into your hands. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your right leg up. Stretch that leg out away from you. Look back, look behind you when you lift the leg. And make sure you can see your toes. So don't lift your legs so high that you can't see your toes. Bring the knee in towards your nose and shift forward. Step your right foot between your hands. Set your heel down in the back. Warrior 1. Inhale, reach up. Look forward. Then exhale, hands to the floor. Step that right leg back, plank. Press into the index fingers and thumb as you lower down. Elbows go to the rear. Up dog or cobra. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up. So look back behind, see your toes, bring the knee in, and then shift forward, look between the thumbs, bring your left foot in. Warrior 1. Inhale, reach up. Press your feet into the ground. Good. Exhale, hands to the mat. Plank. Lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe. Surya Namaskar. B. Inhale, look forward, bend your knees, step all the way to your hands, big step forward, softly. Inhale, half lift, exhale, fold. Bring your feet together, chair pose. Inhale, exhale, inhale, stand tall. Let's do that again, one more time. Inhale, reach up, and we'll add on, exhale, fold over. Lengthen the head forward. Step back to plank. So going through a vinyasa. Shift forward, lower down, draw your elbows in, press into the index finger and the thumb. Upward facing dog.
Exhale, downward facing dog.
Breathe. Inhale, right leg, reach up. Coming to warrior one. And then we'll set the heel down. Inhale, warrior one. Then go ahead and open up warrior two. To the side. Reverse warrior. Inhale, dancing warrior, flowing to the rear or to the back, and then side angle to the front. Put your form on your thigh, reach the arm over your ear and look up. Then reverse. Keep your gaze straight out or straight forward. Depending on your balance, if you need to have a little better balance, then look down when you reach over, side angle. And you can keep looking down whenever you reach back. But then try to turn your gaze. So knee over your ankle also. Sweep over, put your hands on the floor. Let's go to the other side. High plank, shift forward, lower down, upward facing dog. Or cobra, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg. Step your left foot forward, right heel down. Inhale, warrior one. So you're facing forward in warrior one. Shoulders, hips square to the front. Open up, warrior two. Lower down. Reverse warrior, you're just reaching the arm up and you're kind of bending the front body and flexing this back side. Exhale, side angle. Here, you're leaning over straight sides. So lengthen through your sides. Reach the opposite arm over and then reverse. Put your hand back here, brace. Think about the knee in the front, keep it over your ankle. And then side angle, put your form on your thigh, reach over. One more time, reverse. And then side angle. Place your hands on the floor, lift up your heel, and step your leg back, plank, vinyasa right here. Shift forward, lower down, lift up. Cobra or up dog, press into the index finger and thumb, exhale, downward facing dog. Set your knees down. Cat-cow, cow pose, and then cat. Put the top of your feet on the floor, and then cow. One more time, cat. Walk your hands in. And lift up. Really, whenever you're on your hands, pressing into the entire pad of the palm is important, but emphasizing when you're lifting up, pressing into the index finger and the thumb. That's the main tip for today. And then also spreading the blades apart just slightly, right? Gives you more strength. So upper body kind of rounding, and then elbows draw in, engaging your lats. All right, so bring your hands behind your back. Let's do a back bend. Just a small back bend, pressing the hands into the lower back. Draw your elbows in towards each other. Relax the shoulders. And then just lean back and look up. And then look forward. Bring the hands to the floor, sit behind your feet, and scoot. Coming into bridge pose, if you have a block, you can do supported bridge. Lower down on the floor, put the back of your head all the way down, looking straight up. Bring your feet onto the floor, knees pointing up, heels closer to your glutes, feet a little bit wider than your hips though. Lift up your shoulders and set them down, kind of pull them in towards each other. So here you want to broaden through the chest with the chest pointing up. Lifting the hips are facing the ceiling. Broaden through the chest by pulling your shoulders in towards each other. And if you don't have a block, if you're not supporting this bridge pose, bring your hands together and clasp underneath the glutes. Press the pinky side of your hand into the floor. Lift up. Breathe. You can close your eyes or keep them open.
Take another deep breath in. And then exhale, lower down. Let's stretch with the knees going to the side. So place your right ankle on your left knee and tip the knees over to the right. Bring your arms out like a T or cactus the arms. Relax the wrist. Looking over to the left. And then lift up. Place your feet on the floor, opposite side. Left ankle on right knee. Tip the knees over to the left. So you're on the insole of your right foot and using that ankle just to slightly pull the leg in. So you're stretching through the outside of your hip, through the outside of the leg, and then also your lower back on that side. But draw your abs in. When I say draw your abs in, I mean the space below, or the area just below the navel, contract right there. Ujjayi breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Look over to the right. And then look up. Bring that ankle off of the knee. Knees into your chest. Rock from side to side. Let's do happy baby or come into happy baby. So bring your feet up. Such a great stretch for the lower back. Reach down or reach your arms in the inside of the legs, right? And grab your ankles and then try to grab the outside edges of your feet like that. So feeling stiffness, that's okay. If you're feeling any pain, then kind of back off of the depth of the pose. So knees come on the outside of your shoulders and pull them in towards the triceps or the outside of the arms and look up. And then just rock side to side a couple of times. And then just for a moment, extend your legs out on the floor, right heel to right corner, left heel to left corner. So there's space. And then bring your arms out and just be for 30 seconds. Close your eyes, palms facing up. Relax your shoulders. Relax the hips, legs. Deeply breathe in. Fully exhale that out. Try to breathe in a little deeper. Inhale. And exhale. One more time, a deep inhale. And a full exhale. Now place the feet on the floor. Rock the knees over to the side and push yourself up to a seated position. Sitting up tall. And as we begin class, reach up and stretch the arms overhead and clasp the fingers, palms face up, lift the shoulders, but then draw them down. And now as you bring the arms forward, feel the doming of the upper back right there. Same thing when we were in plank, right? And then reach up and bring the hands down to your sides. Shoulders up, roll them up and back. Hold that, shoulders back, bring your palms together, close your eyes. Let's close class. Inhale, bring the edge of the thumbs to the mind's eye, and gratitude, and then thanks, and then the edge of the hands to the heart. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this basic class of going through the sun salutations and then talking about shoulders and hands and upper back. Have a great one. See you again.